Hello and welcome to the Emancipated Citizen Podcast. I'm Ben Snow. Zach was not able to make it today. Our work schedules are both going insane, and today we're interviewing Ukraine aid apps who also have insane schedules. Maria, Harry, would you like to introduce yourselves? Give us some background.
Harry, please.
Yes, hi everyone. I'm Harry. I'm the founder of Ukraine Aid Apps. We're here in Ukraine delivering protective aid for the frontline defenders. And yeah, we've been, as an organization, delivering equipment to the front ourselves past half a year. And yeah, that's shortly about us.
Yeah, I'm Maria. I'm Ukrainian, and I help Ukraine aid ops here on the ground. And of course, I'm very happy to join UAO from almost early beginning because I met Harry when I think a few weeks after you came to Ukraine, right? And yeah, I've been...
Second time.
Yeah, well, second time. And I've been just participating and observing myself, everything that they do, everything that Harry does. It's incredible work. It's a big work. It's a huge contribution for Ukraine. And me, as a representative of Ukrainian people, of Ukraine, we cannot be more grateful for the help that they do, because it's massive, it's huge. And of course we are grateful for all organizations like Harris, because without them it will not be possible to fight and hopefully eventually to win the war.
And what were you two doing before the invasion started?
Yeah, I was working in sales. So for an international company. Before that, yeah, I was in Estonia past year before the war. Before that, I worked in Asia in finance and also business development.
And Maria, how about you?
Well, I actually was working. I work for public sector, and I'm still working, and that's what I was doing before invasion. But of course, my life and life of all Ukrainians has changed after 24th of February, and after that we all, in the beginning, of course, we not that like couldn't believe, but it was mentally difficult, not only for me but for my friends, for all the people in Ukraine, and many people lost jobs. Me as a yeah, so of course we did work remotely first, I think 1.5 or even 2 months, and yeah, basically I still do my work, and I'm volunteer as well, and I can try to combine as much as I can. And yeah, I think all of us Ukrainians now need to do everything as much as we can to help Ukraine.
Yeah, and frankly, everyone should be. We don't even
No,
for
everyone who cares about
yeah,
the free world, so should be contributing and doing their part.
yeah,
So
and
it's not only, we're not only talking about Ukraine, we're talking about the whole Europe, because it's the European security that's at stake, and you know, with that, it's the real security.
yeah, and on a greater level, if we go back to certain countries trying to expand their borders again, that is a can of worms for every part of the world.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, that's true. And actually, we have been receiving a lot of help on different levels, on the state levels, on the just people, on non-profit organization, on business levels. I mean, everyone all around the world, and just normal people, simple people, they see what's going on, that this war is unfair war. And it's amazing actually how world now is united, and even if we could have some personal taste, or someone dislikes something. Now everyone, not only in Ukraine, is united, but all over the world, in Europe, in States, on the West. And
the world has never seen such coming together to help one country in a war as we see now in Ukraine. That's the biggest crowdfunding world has ever seen.
Yeah.
Everyone around the world coming together, helping Ukraine and pitching in.
Yeah, and so how much of your funds are crowdfunding versus support from NGOs and stuff like that?
Sorry, I didn't hear the first part.
How much of your funding comes from crowdfunding as opposed to NGOs or governments?
We 100% right now. Everything is from private individuals, private owners. We have not received currently nothing from any governments, governmental grants. We haven't. Everything comes from private individuals, and we're shortly reaching 1.5 million euros.
That's amazing. And what kind of support are you providing to Ukraine?
Mostly the protective aid. When I started the organization, I saw it on my first trip to Ukraine that a lot of the men they didn't have any body armor. So literally, the men, as I said to many already, I saw with my own eyes how men put sand in their plate carriers. Sand isn't gonna hold anything. I couldn't watch it. I thought I have to try to do something. I went back home and I started sourcing and testing different steel to provide steel armor plates. And that's when on the second trip I came with 1,188 plates, 5 tons of steel plates, which we cut, bent ourselves in Estonia.
Oh, that is actually quite impressive. And I actually tried to see if I could send some plates. When Kristaps of the Eastern Border podcast came to visit the U.S., I tried to see if I could send some plates back with him, but we just couldn't. We just couldn't make the times work out.
Yeah,
But
so what it is, it has changed. The focus has changed a bit because in the beginning it was mostly about plates, especially no, because everything was about funding. In the beginning, it was my own funds, my family, my friends, and everyone I knew. Now the focus has changed because there's more plates available. Ukrainian army is shifting a bit from steel plates to lighter ceramic plates. We have now provided quite a bit ceramic plates as well, and it's helmets, fast helmets, special operations helmets, so you can attach your night visions. Because now the days are shorter, people need night vision devices, thermal imaging devices. Vehicles is always a problem in front lines. Vehicles are considered as consumables. They break down, they get destroyed. Yeah. So, and also because winter is coming, it's winter. Winter gear, generators, uniforms, boots, thermal underwear, sleeping bags, tents, everything. So there's pretty much a need for everything. So anyone who wants to help, you can. The simple things: pair of boots keep someone warm and keep them going.
have you been able to receive much of those things from outside of Europe?
No, most of our funding is pretty much 50-50 between Europe, US, so North America. And now we have also next week, we have 1,500 pairs of winter boots coming. We start getting winter uniforms now in. Yeah, I was on the delivery run now. I just arrived last night, 3 a.m. So I drove 20 hours straight. We did in 3 days. We did 3,500 kilometers. We went through Kiev, Poltava, Kharkiv Oblast, Luhansk, Donetsk, Mykolaiv, Zaporizhia, and Dnipro. So we treat all these oblasts. We delivered 130 plus sets of ceramic plates, IFACs, and other things.
Amazing. How do you decide where to bring them?
How do I decide? Because I'm
Yeah.
always the front lines. In the front, I communicate with the commanders, talk to the different units. I see their needs. They recommend me to other units who are fighting. We only mainly help units who are fighting. And based on how heavy the fighting is, that's where our focus is. Our biggest focus right now is Bakhmut area. I've been 3, 4 times in a row to Bakhmut.
How did that sudden advance around Kharkiv affect your operations?
Everyone think that now my delivery runs are longer. No, it's not. It's actually made my life much easier because before I had to go around Kharkiv to get to Sloviansk or Bakhmut area. Now I can go directly through Izum from Kharkiv, so it's made my life easier.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, and it was so amazing to see that too. Especially since I've been talking to somebody providing aid who just switched, who was saying that there was too much attention focused on Kherson, and it looked like the Russians had too much time to prepare there.
No, right now the heaviest fighting is in Bakhmut area. Then is Kherson, but the concentration is Bakhmut and Soledar and all that area around Bakhmut.
Yeah, Bakhmut is actually a very key point for, of course, for Ukrainians, but from a Russian perspective, for them, it is very important. They want to hold it as they are trying really hard, but
They've been trying for 2 months to push, and they managed to advance maybe 500 meters, and then they got pushed back again. So
yeah.
So the situation is difficult, but Ukrainians are doing incredibly well, considering the numbers that the Russians are throwing in, equipment-wise and men.
And have you seen anything about the state of the Russian equipment? I mean, I've been seeing stories about their rifles being rusted and soldiers being thrown in with just a couple days of training in
No,
quotes that mostly was standing around. Does that sound right to
it's
you?
not, it's not just the equipment, it's the level of their so-called fighters and soldiers as well. In Bakhmut, is half of probably half of Russia's prison system is fighting there. So
Sorry,
yeah,
just is
they're
calling.
not soldiers, they're criminals.
Yeah, well, we should not obviously we should not underestimate our enemy, but again, the quality of
No,
servicemen.
no, yeah, there's mixture. In Bakhmut area, there's mixture. You have elite soldiers, you have
Yeah.
Katyrovites, you have Wagner Group. Wagner Group, under them, they've now taken a lot of criminals from prison systems. The head of Wagner, Rogozin, he himself recruits them in Russia, and all the units, all the brigades have said they've even captured men who were sent a week ago. They don't have any fighting experience. They're just considered as cannon meat or cannon fodder, just to keep the men going into Bakhmut and keep the Ukrainian soldier to break the morale. It's not working out well.
And all I've been constantly amazed at how the Russian government treats their own soldiers and people throughout this whole thing too. So that's
And I think that's the clear sign that Russia can't win this war. The way the government treats their own soldiers, or how the soldiers treat each other on the battlefield, where they don't take their buddies, fallen friends back home and leave them on the streets. Ukraine has already won this war because Ukraine has morale. Russian soldiers don't. They don't have a reason to fight.
Yeah, it's a matter of the time, because the Ukrainian, not only people like civilians, but servicemen, soldiers as well, they have really strong morale and they know what they are fighting for. We are fighting for our freedom, independence, and for our own land. When Russians most of them, I don't think that they even understand what they are fighting for. So
No, I know what the prisoners are fighting for
Well, yes.
amnesty and $1,000 or something.
Yeah.
But against the Ukrainian army, they don't have a chance. So it's a death sentence for any prisoner who thinks that they're gonna get amnesty through a bullet probably, but that's about it.
Or a shell from one side or the other, who knows the way the Russian
Yeah.
artillery seems to not be able to hit their target.
Well, right,
It's
for Russia, actually, using prisoners for them is a win-win situation. They're trying to push them out when they're out from prison and in Ukraine fighting. Russia doesn't have to spend the money on their food. They're keeping them in prison system, and but I feel sorry for Russia when Ukraine wins the war and all these guys go back with weapons. So that, that's kind of interesting.
And would you like to tell us some of the stuff you've been seeing on the front lines, whether related to the military situation or the situation for civilians?
There ain't many civilians. The places I go, there ain't too many civilians around. So a lot of people have left. There still are. When it gets dark, not daytime, you can see people in villages, in the cities, Kramatorsk, Sloviansk. You can see everywhere people. At night, the streets are empty. Everyone is hiding. They switch their lights, everything off, or there is total darkness. So everyone's keeping themselves safe. But daytime, markets are open, shops are open, life goes on. But military, yeah. Ask me what specific you want to know. There's a lot to talk about.
Do you have any idea how many of the Ukrainian soldiers were in the military before February?
No, because a lot of these units were actually right now I'm focusing on helping our territorial defense. And most of them, they weren't in military. They're civilians who came together to defend their country. And why our focus is helping them, because they're the last in the pecking order to get equipment, because they're not regular army. And we focus on helping them because a lot of them have because there's so many new people joining and getting mobilized under territorial defense that the focus is the army, regular army, to get equipped. And because of the numbers, we just how to say it, we fill the gaps and we help territorial defense a lot.
Do you have any interesting stories about some of the people you've been aiding?
I mean, there's so many stories.
Yeah.
Where to start? Every day I hear something.
Yeah.
So it depends what specifically related what, and then I know.
Well, then you can say how you found the cat. Actually, you were in those very dangerous areas.
So yeah, the same area where the cat was actually found. It was zero line in between Sloviansk and Izum when Russians were still controlling the area of Izum. In beginning of July, I went to zero line with the unit to see their needs, etc. And under the same monastery, I spent a couple of days with the soldiers. And now when Izum was liberated, I did a delivery run to that area. I wanted to see what is going on and what was left from the monastery. So I went back to take a few photos to go see the basement under the church or monastery where we was. And then yeah, we found a cat. I actually left my knife to the monastery. We was in the dark, so I left my knife. We drove to Sloviansk already from Izum, and then I realized I left my knife back behind. So we drove back to the monastery, and then we found the cat. So in the first time we went, there was only dogs. And the second time when I went to get my knife, I saw a cat limping out from a bush and crying for help. They had an injured paw, and I just straight away took the cat in.
How do the dogs respond when they see you?
No, no. So I put even videos up in Twitter. No, they're extremely friendly. You can see they have collars on, so they belong. They're someone's pets. So either there's what I was told. It's either the dogs ran away because a lot of dogs are afraid of gunfire, everything big bangs. A lot of dogs ran away straight away, and a lot of times, yeah, their owners are not here anymore because either they left or they unfortunately got killed. So, but most of the dogs belong to someone, and they're extremely friendly, most of them.
Yeah, I've heard some people speculating that they won't be friendly after they've been eating human flesh, but it
No,
doesn't sound like that to me.
no, it's
There are a lot of disinformation and, coming from Russian channels and all over the social media.
I've seen it fed. I know. I don't know, tens. I've seen hundreds of dogs. I've never seen a dog that came close even to start barking. They all come and wiggle their tail. They're afraid. Yes, they're afraid. They keep distance because who knows what they've gone through. So they have trust issues, but they're extremely friendly. You can see when they lay down and wiggle their tail and their ears go down, and they hope someone is going to pet them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they were actually like some months even ago, even now it's on the social media, how actually Russian
Torturing the dogs.
soldiers, yeah, torturing animals, and a lot of animals were just shooting heads for no reason. Well, as well,
No,
humans as well, civilians,
no,
but
no, that shows a lot between Russian soldier and Ukrainian soldier and people who are here fighting for Ukraine. Every time I've seen guys coming from zero line. They're exhausted. They've been fighting for, many days in a row without no sleep. And when they see a dog, they bring out their sausages, salamis, or their beef jerkies, and just feed the dogs and spend time with the dogs and pet them. And that's where the difference comes.
yeah, sympathy it what it basically differ us from Russians, and I've seen so many videos and heard so many stories when soldiers just sharing their own food from the front lines with dogs and cats, which is
No, that's why
amazing.
I was with the unit. I hadn't eaten at all day, and they gave their MRE, and when we saw the dogs, everyone opened their MREs and gave everything that dogs ate from their MREs. So we had crackers left. So
Yes, I've been constantly amazed at the amount of care Ukrainians have been taking for well, I guess they weren't always strays, but now stray dogs and cats.
no, no,
Even when they're
biggest actually the biggest worry is now the uncontrolled. How do you call it?
Occupied?
No, no,
No?
I mean with the dogs,
Oh,
that they're running
prejudice.
around and
Yeah.
no one keeps them separated. So there's gonna be a lot of puppies coming up. But it's good to see that there's actually a lot of organizations that pull together. In Twitter is amazing space because through Twitter as well, I've shared locations where I've seen big packs of dogs or cats or the animal rescue organizations, and straight away they say, "Okay, we're gonna go to that area. We're gonna see what we can do to help them, either to take with us or to feed them." Or so it's amazing to see that people in different areas. So I'm focused on army, keeping Ukrainian army safe with protective aid or care. And there's organizations who do humanitarian. There's animal rescue. All these organizations are sharing information and coming together.
have you been here? Have you heard much about where the Russian soldiers are coming from? Whether they're from Moscow area, the Caucasus,
Well,
Siberia, or
probably there's not many from Moscow area.
well, yeah.
What Russia is doing is Russia is sending minorities first. People from far east and areas, more rural areas. That's where they send. Yeah, that's what It's ethnic cleansing. Yeah, that's what they do. They want to get probably rid of the minorities in Russia as well.
Well, the first place, for example, where they actually finished mobilization, let's say it was St. Petersburg, and they said they announced about successful finishing of mobilization in this city, because they know actually, while in different republics in Russia Federation, it keeps going. It has been going since the beginning, but it was just not official. But there are many evidence, many publications about that the whole, even small like towns or small villages, all men from their small villages were mobilized and taken without pretty much any trainings, straight direct to the front lines. So yeah, well, they know, Russian authorities know if they, because all these revolutions, let's say, they started mostly from the capitals. So they are absolutely afraid to, let's say, get Moscow and St. Petersburg people angry, because if they are, that's where all the riots start, and they want to avoid that. So, yeah.
But again, I think it's not just because of riots. It's yeah, it's minorities. It's the same as how they treat Ukrainians. That's how they treat Russian minorities. So there's no difference. And hopefully,
I mean, I heard that in their mobilization in Crimea, which seems even more legally questionable than everything else about the whole situation. 80% of the mobilized were Crimean Tatars, and they only make up 20% of the population.
no, of course, that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's minorities.
Well, that's what are they also doing now? Occupied Kherson region, right? They are starting Zaporizhia, Kherson region, not even talking about Crimea. They are issuing Russian passports, which make people automatically, let's say, Russian citizens, which make them,
this
by the law, they can be mobilized.
This all started 2014, 13, 14. Russia knew exactly that this day will come, that they're going to invade Ukraine. I'm 100% sure. That's why Russia has pushed in the last 3 years a lot of Russian passports to people in Donbass. They have issued a lot of passports, Russian passports, in the last few years. So they probably knew ahead what they're going to do. So, and they're still issuing in Crimea, they're everywhere in Kherson. Yeah, same with Kherson and Zaporizhia. All these newly occupied areas, they're giving people passports. A lot of them I've already heard they refused because they know what's it's gonna mean. If you're a man, you're gonna accept Russian passport. The next few days, you're gonna be fighting against Ukraine.
And can anybody actually use these passports to go into Russia?
To Russia, of course.
No, no. If you're gonna get mobilized, then you're not gonna go to Russia. You're gonna go.
Not necessarily the men, but I heard that Russia stopped accepting the passports they issued to Ukrainians who wanted to get into Russia.
No, I haven't heard any of that.
It may have just been during the Kharkiv offensive when there was a sudden rush of people trying to leave. I'm not sure if it's still going on or not.
Yeah.
Some Russian trolls, either Russian trolls pretending to be Trotskyites, or actually Trotskyites, because apparently still exist, started mass reporting me and got me thrown off Twitter, so I haven't seen anything for a few weeks.
I don't know. I haven't seen any Russian trolls. No, they DM me all kinds of stuff, but I don't have time for DM, so I'm okay. Any other questions related to that?
Yeah. I guess, have you interacted with prisoners very much, or do they just sent somewhere far away from you right away?
Sorry, yeah, we lost.
Have you met many? Do you ever meet Russian prisoners at all, or are they just sent somewhere else? They never. And
No, I've seen few when yeah, but I haven't interacted with them. So no, because
Well, No, and more likely no, because they are sent to the special, of course, places where prisoners of war are kept.
I saw in Bakhmut area. I saw they were having soup, but that's as close as I saw them. 20 meters away in a tent having a soup. So
Oh, so they're getting fed and everything.
yes, no, definitely better than in Russia, so, or under Russian army.
Yeah, it says a lot that they get fed, if they're getting fed better, but as prisoners by Ukraine than as soldiers by Russia.
No, it depends. It all depends how you're gonna surrender. Are you gonna get that bowl of soup or not? If you're surrendering and if you're fighting and shooting, maybe you're not gonna get a soup. You're gonna get a piece of bread. So, but yeah, no, there's more and more actually um, reports from the army that a lot of mobilized who join now, they straight away surrender. They contact themselves straight away without even taking one shot or holding a rifle properly.
Yeah,
They already
it is the
let
smartest
know,
way
and
for them.
I say that okay, I don't want to have nothing to do with this war. I was forced to come here. Can I surrender? They agree a location and get picked up.
And actually, I think it was a post from high rank governmental official, was it probably even Minister of Defense Reznikov, that said that we are now getting so many Russian prisoners of war that it might be a problem soon. So of course, it's from the political perspective, it's good that we are having it POWs, Russian POWs, because this is the resource that we can use to exchange for our own soldiers who are kept by Russians, right? So, but yeah, as Harry said, there are many of them. They are just surrender, or even like when they got mobilized, they have, because Ukraine has this hotline where actually you can call and basically find out all information how to, not get killed and surrender. So yeah, but from political perspective, of course, it is good to have in order to have exchange for our own people.
Nothing of the. I've heard there's now 4 million Ukrainian civilians who've been kidnapped and sent to Russia.
Yeah, no, that's what media says. Yeah, I only get that information from media as well. No one really knows the exact numbers. So
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
very hard to know if what's happening in Russian controlled areas or occupied areas. Same comes how many people they have killed, what's happened there, because all these horrors only come out once Ukraine takes back these territories.
yeah, and I mean the last time when I heard 4 million, it was somebody saying that that's what the Russians were claiming, which the, you would know Russians far better than I ever would. Does it sound like they'd exaggerate how many civilians they've brought back to Russia to you? Does that sound like something they do to you?
No, it depends how they said it. If they said they kidnapped
Well,
4 million
it
people, but
wasn't called
if
bring back.
if they bring back, they took away. So that's mass deportation what they did in the Soviets did in the Second World War. So there's no difference with the concentration camps in Siberia and what they have done now. Russia hasn't evolved since then. That clearly shows how what kind of neo-imperial country it is, and with the people supporting it.
Shocking how many people supporting Russia have anti-imperialist in their bios.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, well,
probably in their DNA.
yeah, so in the end of our conversation, I really want to send a message to all supporters, and I want to say that we appreciate so much everyone who supports Ukraine, every individuals, each state that are our partners, our friends, and also people who support Ukraine ADOPS, what Harry does, what we do here. And this is important very much for our common victory, because it is not only Ukraine's victory, it will be the victory of the whole democratic world, of all people who basically have the right values. And please keep supporting us, keep supporting Ukraine Aid Ops, and each of you matter. And yeah, we will win the war thanks to you. It's a matter of time, and of course we pray for this time to come faster. And meanwhile, we will keep fighting, and Harry and Ukrainian Ops and all of us, we keep doing as much as we can.
Yeah. For us as an organization, I think the most vital thing is to get more visibility. I, from my side, try to do whatever I can to post as much information or what we do, so people can actually see that we're making difference. I always say it's one team, one fight. Without our supporters, I couldn't be out there. I couldn't give helmets or body armor to frontline defenders. We have given out thousands and thousands of body armors. We have given out a lot of helmets. And was it last week? We just got a message as well that one of the helmets again saved one soldier's life. You know, even one life saved is worth it. But we've saved multiple, and potentially thousands of lives. And it makes a massive difference. And just we want to do more. People ask me to rest. No, it's impossible to rest if you see the gratitude these men have, and how much it will affect their morale or raise their morale when they see Estonian, American, and British men or someone coming to the front lines, giving them body armor, IFACs, and things that will make a difference for them. It's massive, and I will stay here until the end of the war, probably after the war, for the rebuild process. I stay to help. I hope people will keep supporting us and believing in us, that together we can make a difference.
Yeah.
And after the war, do you think it'll be possible for refugees from, let's say Syria, to get jobs in Ukraine to help with the rebuilding?
Don't know. I don't want to think ahead. What's gonna happen?
Yeah, let's win the war first, and then about rebuilding, we will have another interview with you. Okay.
And one other question. I was actually very surprised to hear the response to the war by some of my Kurdish friends. I guess there's this wide perception among Kurds that Ukraine is an ally of Turkey. How do most Ukrainians feel about the Turkish-Kurdish situation?
Well, you should ask probably Ukrainians, or research. I haven't researched, or actually I haven't spoken to my friends about specifically Kurdish people. Yeah, but I know actually that there are few of them even fighting probably in Ukraine for Ukraine.
Yeah.
And we appreciate all the help of all people of all nationalities, all skin color, all religions, because that's where it is. Everything is united. We're all united here. And speaking about Turkey as a state, Turkey helps us as Ukraine, a state, a lot as well, with military aid, with humanitarian aid. And yeah, we appreciate and value each of the partner that helps Ukraine in these difficult times.
And if anybody, well, I'm going to include a link for anybody who would like to donate to you. If anyone would like to volunteer in Ukraine, anything you think they should know?
I think the best way is to go to the embassies of Ukraine in their countries, or there is a link actually, I mean, for sure on the embassy website if they are still recruiting. I know that probably to the international legions, they have stopped that for a while.
Yes. Same with Trojan Legion. They only instructors, maybe they're looking, not fighters, because the situation right now from Ukrainian Army point of view or viewpoint is stable, and they don't need to recruit that many people from outside. And the situation is that speaks already. where this war is going.
Yeah, but again, any help will be very available. And if people want to help and they don't know how to help, you can either go to the Ukraine Aid Ops website to help and donate there, or you can go and ask embassies of Ukraine in your countries how to help. There are many organizations, there are many people who actually do runs like humanitarian aid brings into Ukraine, as well as embassies. I know they have special units in each embassies who actually are dealing with the AIDS, humanitarian, or any other. So yeah, there are many ways. It's just need a
Again, it's just
willing to help.
quickly say that actually one of the best ways to help us, if people don't feel comfortable donating funds, is our Amazon wish list. We have compiled the wish list based on the needs of the military. So there's things with with even the $10. There's the items. If you purchase the item, you can see these items directly, me handing over to the frontline units. You can see the pictures from my Twitter account. Everyone can see that these things will reach to the frontline units, and everyone is really happy. Everything that's in the Amazon wish list, Army says they're quality things. Everything they received, they've needed.
And actually, people even can see sometimes when Harry records videos from the warehouse of the deliveries that come, because when you have a wish list item, you can actually leave a message, I believe,
Yes.
right? To type. And then sometimes people, the followers, they see their own message and say like, oh, that's me who bought it. So it is amazing that actually people can see what they got and what shortly will be delivered by Harry and ground him to the front line.
That sounds amazing. I may have to try that instead of just sending money.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ben. Harry is running to another meeting, actually a little bit late because it's supposed to be shortly. So thank you so much for having us, and hope to speak to you when we win the war, and it will be another podcast about rebuilding Ukraine. And yeah, it will be another situation, and we will be happy to share with you that new life that hopefully will come sooner than later.
And the beach party in Sevastopol.
Absolutely. We will make a huge announcement, and we will be.
I promised to dance in the beach party on the stage, so
Yeah,
stay tuned.
We all waiting for that.
Thank you very much. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you.
Ben.
Have a nice game.